Anything happens in that 5 minutes and I'm yours, no matter what. Anything a minute either side of that and you're on your own. I don't sit in while you're running it down. I don't carry a gun. I drive.
There's something inside you. It's hard to explain.
Ah yes, Driver. A classic 3D driving game released on 1999 by Reflections and GT Interactive. What you guys don't know are the makers of Demolition Derby 1 and 2. It says here on the cover, guys, shows how much they're proud of making this game.
Never heard of him.
Unlike most 3D driving games at the time, which are mostly racers and combat driving, Driver takes a more realistic and grounded approach, with an open world free roam mode that allows you to go wherever you want. No rules, except for following the road law. Now, if memory serves right, my first Driver game was actually Driver 2, where you can walk around on foot outside the car and not having the power to do anything. So I finally got Driver 1 for its first time as a kid. I had no idea what I was doing, and I have no idea how to get out of my car and just start hitting cars for no reason. And I pretty much stopped playing it forever, because my dumb algorithmic brain wasn't able to process that mechanic isn't implemented yet. But now that I've grown old, I can finally figure out what lies beneath the rabbit hole, as I take a dive into Driver PS1. So strap in your seatbelts because it's gonna be a bumpy ride. I mean it. The game starts off with a bunch of unskippable title cards, and finally getting to the game's intro, which kinda feels like some kind of horror drill than some driving game. Ooh, spooky strip backrooms moment. Driver, you are the wheelman. I am the wheelman. So right after that unsettling opening sequence, you get an instant tonal whiplash of the menu screen featuring funky jazz music. If I had a nickel, I swear to God. And it's pretty well made. You can highlight and select the mode or menu screen. Take a look at your chase scenes that requires 2 blocks of your memory card space? Hey, remember when you used to buy multiple memory cards instead of having a big disk space? Actually forget, no one wants to keep buying more memory cards. No, it's not every day I get to see a game that lets you see what other games you play. It's like I'm loading a computer file instead of my save file. So the game starts off in the police department. John Tanner, the main protagonist that's been staring to your soul in every loading screen, is a former ex-street racer, now a lawful goody two-shoes cop.
Your boots, sir.
Has been hired as an undercover cop to investigate and arrest a crime syndicate. So let's see how we fare completing the training level.
You crazy? Hey, man. You crazy? Hey, man. What's the thing? Hey, man. You crazy? You wrecked the car, man.
Well, at least now I know I never could beat the game. Deus Ex Machina. This training level is hard. How is this the first level? The spacing is small, there's cars parked. Now what the hell is the difference between brake test and normal brake? The only thing I'm able to break here is my sanity levels and how I can't even get past the training level. I'm not even kidding. This training is so hard they even made a tutorial video on it. Just shows how insane it is. Alright, guess that's enough. Now it's the Master's turn.
Hey, man. Hey, man. You crazy? Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, man. Hey, man.
Maybe I'll give you a call when I need a ride to the grocery store.
Hey, man.
You the man. We gonna need you.
I don't know what I did, but I somehow passed the driving school, only to end up in some alternate menu. I did not know this alternate menu even exists. Guess that's how the game rewards you, huh? And the fact that I never beat this as a kid makes me feel like I'm still dreaming of electric sheep. So you've got a tape recorder here to select the mission, but the only problem here is that there isn't some kind of mission replay. There's also some side quests like taking this car back to the safe house, but it's not even unlockable. I can't even use this car unless I'm on the PC version. Save game? Fuck that shit, I already beat the game and unlocked LA and New York.
John, you just about crashed into the Empire State Building.
Hey, that would be cool.
While the missions aren't as hard as the training level, the police RNG spawn rate is ridiculous, and even after the training, the driving controls are either too slippery or too sensitive when it comes to turning. Like, am I supposed to press the button or tap the button? Ugh, what's the difference? I don't even know. Forget it. Now, right after beating the mission, or just lose, you can choose to select Film Director to replay your gameplay and edit it. Because one of the reasons why the game was made in the first place was because the game wanted to create some movie chase scene simulator. And since I'm editing this on a PS1 controller, well, Switch controller actually, Xbox or PS5. It just makes it a lot harder than on mouse and keyboard. At that point, just use the auto director mode. But even so, most of the shots just generated sometimes kinda sucks. Second unit directors, am I right? Now when it comes to the cutscenes, they aren't as high budget as the intro scene, and then there's cutscenes where the frame just stops. You can even notice the video quality frozen in time since it's meant to be a phone call scene.
Yeah?
D'Angelo.
Yo, driver.
Which kinda makes the
D'Angelo's already been
presentation
making
a
whole
bit
lot of
awkward.
trouble for himself. We had to
Now there are some missions that basically continue where you left off, but this can be a problem since it means starting up your car still damaged and still having some felony levels. Like in this mission, I'm supposed to chase the boat, but then there's this cop right here just camping and waiting outside only to start a police chase. Now there's cars blocking the road. And even when you have simple objectives of just going to a location for a meetup, you only have 3 minutes or less to get there, so you can't even have a relaxing drive. So you're forced to get chased by cops who are moving too fast. Now when it comes to combat, it's not existent but it actually does at the same time. But it's quite a double-edged sword since it also means sacrificing your health to damage the other. But as for getting chased and how to get rid of them, like the police, least you can do is just drive as far away as from them, or do your best to slam and hope it hits a civilian car, like in the intro. If they don't know how to drive smoothly, that is. And try and make sure you don't hit any walls, or that'll increase your felony meter. Okay, what the hell is this? Now my game froze? I didn't even save my game! Whatever, I already said I beat the game like a few years ago or something, so I'll just talk about the story anyway. Skipping it. Skipping the game. Lazy mode activated or something. Now in my opinion, I feel like the story is a bit hard to pay attention to, and I think the problem here is that the game lacks subtitles, so it's kinda hard to figure out what's going on. The only way for you to understand is just read an article page on Wikipedia. Sorry video essay fans. Basically, this is how the story goes. Tanner gets hired to investigate a crime syndicate. Crime syndicate is working for a guy running for president.
My fellow Americans.
But then he found the FBI is corrupted, and then they plan to assassinate a certain New York president, just to prevent me from making another edgy joke. Yeah, you know what, seriously, just fuck that guy for ruining my joke that I was playing for a long time. What? He did try running for president back in the 2000s. And this is where it gets to one of the most ridiculous final levels ever. Because good god, Asimov's laws of robotics, every single enemy car here has full-on maximum speed engines. They're just doing whatever it takes to break the laws of physics just to kill you, and the president.
Nice driving, son.
So much for learning and honing the skills of your driving. But hey, at least this level being hard is a lot more justified than the training level. There, that's the story of Driver simplified. There's 2 endings in this game. Ending 1 is just you driving your Jeep, and ending 2 is you driving your Jeep with a girlfriend. But his girlfriend never appeared again in the sequel, so this ending isn't canon. Now let's talk about the other stuff, such as talking about the cities. There's 4 you can choose from, and starting levels are Miami and San Francisco. Now Miami seems to have this mostly open space and some fun background details like airplanes, hot air balloons, some other stuff you can find on the road like this music store, in which you can't enter, some neighborhood houses, typical American suburban life, and of course the famous Miami Beach, just covered by walls. Listen, there's no swimming, alright? As for San Francisco, it's probably the best of the levels. It's all thanks to this place best known for its hilltop roads, which can lead you to some insane car physics during chases. Seriously, just look at these car physics, it's insane! You got your typical train that all San Franciscans use, and even drive through the Golden Gate Bridge. Okay, this place is kinda disappointing. But I guess the real disappointment here is when you play on night mode. And I get it, we all love night mode. We all love to do our Sigma, Gosling, or Gyllenhall night drives, but the nighttime levels suck. It's too damn dark because the devs didn't bother making light up textures for the building. Can't see a scene for Los Angeles, one of the levels you need to unlock in the story mode. At least this place has lights on, probably because they didn't bother making a daytime version of this level. But it does one of the ugliest airports I've ever seen. And finally, New York City. Well, not as impressive as today's New York, well, in-game New York. At the time, I'd say they did a pretty good job this level. Veteran gamers were probably mind-blown when they unlocked this area, and you know what? It was damn worth it. They even made a PS1 recreation of Times Square. Neat! And you can even see Broadway over there. I also love how they put some unique textures. Shows how much they put a lot of heart and soul into it. You can even visit Brooklyn, before Spider-Man games did. And although this is the most claustrophobic of the bunch, I will say this area does rival San Francisco's hills. Because when I was doing some last minute changes for this video, I realized how ridiculous the chases can be, even more when you have civilian cars spawning non-stop. Guess I know where cars come from, the Cars universe. Even the tunnel area is completely impossible to escape when you have cops just camping.
Woo! Bumper cars.
Oh, and there's the Statue of Liberty to it, I guess, as a sprite. So that's there. Next up are driving minigames, which are mostly just there if you want some non-story challenges. There's Pursuit, which is just a boss fight, Getaway, where you try to outrun a police car on God mode, Crosstown Checkpoint, a racing minigame, Trailblazer, a racing minigame, and Survival, where you challenge how long you can survive being chased by maximum speed police cars. Oh, and Dirt Track, another racing minigame. Listen, I don't like racing games, alright? So yeah, the only minigames that seem to matter are the last 4, since they're score-based, while the first 2 seem more like time passers. I suppose it's serviceable for anyone not interested in beating old high scores. The only problem it has is that they're way too short, and just wish I could either change the timelet or remove it just to film a chase scene. But you really have a small film, which explains why I can't make long replays. However, something I have noticed in Pursuit and pretty much every boss fight is that the enemies have super armor on. They don't even flinch when you hit them, but when I hit a car, I ended up getting stopped, but these guys? They're completely relentless. Seriously, go try playing on Los Angeles, and then you'll see what I mean. Like, you don't take damage unless it's your car. Just who's driving this? The T-1000?
Batmobile's blood armor, available now. Features for all. Brought to you by Wayne Industries.
7 million. Never leave the cave without it.
And that's Driver PS1. I'm gonna be honest, the only reason why I decided to choose to review this is because I watched Nightcrawler, a driving movie, and I keep seeing a bunch of Gosling drive memes on my Twitter for some reason. Like, is the algorithm supposed to mean something? Is it trying to tell me something? And then I thought, yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll play a game of Driver for a relaxing night drive, or watch some car chases, if they actually bothered making them look good. Sure, you can't fist fight, shoot guns, walk outside, or go shopping, but even with the clunky controls and unfair RNG difficulty spike of story mode, I don't think the game aged poorly. To me, I find this game to be a fun time-passing car chase sim, and maybe it's the PS1 aesthetics that somehow it's able to give a more classical retro 70s film feel. Not sure how that makes sense, but I guess that has something to do with both things being old and all. Sure, the genre has evolved throughout the years, but will I still recommend it? I mean, if you want to appreciate what the game was able to do at the time, or maybe you want to finally beat the game because of that training mode, I'd say go for it. It still has a very punishing story mode, but even so, and even after being the final level, I find it very rewarding since now that means I can finally unlock LA and New York. And you'll unlock a cheats menu, where you can turn off the police for a true relaxing night drive, or just straight up abuse the law by turning on God mode, until your car flips. Other cheats include invert controls, stilts, shrunken cars, and Australia mode. No, seriously, there's an Australia mode in this game. Actually, do you know what I just discovered turning on cheats? Apparently I can use them in the main story, which technically means that this is the New Game Plus mode. Damn it, if only I'd known this.
You know that BBQ sauce you guys do? Give us more of that!
I guess my only complaint of Driver is the lack of level selection, and the music not feeling like something from a 70s action flick, but more like circus music. No, seriously, just listen to this soundtrack. Yeah, I'm not really sure why I thought clown music was a good idea for an open world game. With that being said, I might give this a 4 center points, or 2, but this is simply just a driving skill issue. So yeah, 4 is fine. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a car waiting for me outside, and I'm off for my nighttime Sigma drives. Until next time!